Hello, CrossFit Linchpin. Today is December 9th. It is a Monday. Hope everybody had a fantastic weekend. And I'm just kind of checking in. So, this is going to be an open forum. I've got a couple topics rolling around in my head, but nothing mission critical, nothing we have to discuss. So, if people have questions, go ahead and throw them out there, and I'll see what I can do just to take care of them real quick. But other than that, I just finished today's workout, which was nasty. Today's workout was a repeat. It was 50 burpee pull-ups for time, 5-minute rest, 50 burpee box jump overs for time, 5 minutes rest, 50 bar-facing burpees for time, 5 minutes rest. So, yeah, that was bad news. And I just saw somebody mention a workout that we've done previously that they said was even worse, and I agree with you. But I will say, again, with a lot of the messaging that I try to put out of keeping people somewhat sane, sometimes I feel like half my job is programming and half is talking people off the ledge and taking pressure off themselves. Our boys had basketball tournaments this weekend. We live in Washington State. It was down in Oregon, so we drove down there, spent the last couple nights in a hotel, eating at restaurants, breakfast buffet in the morning, just not an environment conducive to wonderful performance. Let's just say that. Terrible sleep, if I didn't mention that already. Anyway, so today, wandered into my garage for this workout that I know is nasty, and I just, you don't need to be a rocket scientist for me to realize that today wasn't going to be a great day, just based upon the last couple of days. So I did not run the clock. I did the workout that I just mentioned, the 50-50-50 of all those burpees, and I just moved at not a snail's pace, but I would say a snail with an injury, a snail with a life-threatening injury, a slow snail, not even a regular snail. I just moved. And even, again, we got a video here, my shirt's obviously sweaty, even just moving at an injured snail's pace, it was plenty of work. Plenty of work. I didn't even start the clock, didn't look at it, and that just, it made it so much more bearable. We've got that little phrase, fitness was achieved, and there's just no way, even at a slow pace, you can't do 50 burpee pull-ups, 50 burpee box jump overs, and 50 bar-facing burpees, and not achieve some wonderful things to propel you forward in your health and fitness. So that's that. And I'm a big fan, and I made a little post on Instagram about it. I probably don't time at least one workout a week. I would say one's average. Maybe one every 2 weeks if it's just one of those weeks where I'm traveling a lot and not feeling it. I'm not afraid to shut the clock off. It doesn't bother me at all. It doesn't get in my head. And as a matter of fact, it takes some pressure off myself that allows me to keep working out fun, not make it into work, not make it into some weird competition with myself or social media or what did I do a year ago, blah, blah, blah. That's not fun for me. So anyway, that's that. Let me scroll, see if there were any questions, and if not, I'll address one quick thing that somebody asked, and we'll see if it leads anywhere. Interesting. All right. Some waves as well. Ooh, there was that workout that got mentioned. So the workout that got mentioned, somebody said, well, at least it wasn't bad as we did a workout, and it doesn't have a name. It's popped up a couple times on CrossFit Linchpin. It's just a little chestnut that I created one day because I was feeling, I don't even know how you would categorize it, but the workout was, and I can't remember if it starts with the run or starts with burpees, but it's basically 20 down to 1 of a burpee. So 20, 19, 18, 17, etc. All the way down to 1. But before or after, I can't remember which. But before each set of burpees is a 400-meter run. So I think we said to wear a weight vest, if, shooter's choice, if you so desired. So I think if my math is correct and I remember properly, that it comes out to 5 miles of running and 210 burpees, all done with a vest, if you so desire. So that's something we've done a couple of times. Maybe we'll blow the dust off that one and throw it out there again. And I'm almost tempted to tell everybody, that reminded me of a workout I programmed a long time ago. Sometimes there's a difference in what you would program for your quote-unquote friends, when each of your friends just get a little froggy and you just try to throttle each other, versus a well-thought-out, well-intentioned, intelligently designed workout that you would put out to the general public. Well, one of those just throttle you workouts popped into my mind, but I almost don't want to say it because I almost don't want, people to do it. There's some things you shouldn't do. So anyway, here we go. Got a question a while back from MCD, was their handle on Instagram, and they basically said they wanted any input at all at maintaining a solid pace in workouts in relation to each individual's fitness level. How do you do that? How do you maintain the right pace based upon your fitness level? Really tough question to answer since each person is a little bit different. But when I first read it, what leapt out at me right off the bat was, I think most people, okay, and if this doesn't apply to you, great, but I think most people should probably start out, let's say it's a multi-round workout, a 3, a 4, a 5 round, or one of those deals. Most people should start out slower than they think they should. Slower than they think is necessary. Because at least for me, I've generally found, let's say it's a 4-round workout, if I must say, you know what, I'm going to hold back just a smidge on round number 1, by the time I get to round number 3, I'm very happy that I did. And that pace that maybe seemed just, not dogging it, that's not what I'm saying, but just a hair conservative, by the time the 3rd round rolls around, it's right where I need to be. And it's plenty challenging to now maintain whatever that same pace was in round 1, versus I take off in round 1 like a bat out of hell, maybe sustain it in round 2, but likely not, and then the wheels come off in round 3, and then round 4 is just a dumpster fire. So that has been, in general, for me, I would say to do that. But here's why it's a tough question to answer, and here's why I was hesitant to even give that advice that I just did about taking it a bit easy in the first round, because for as many people as there are that fall into that camp, I see plenty of other people that are on the other side that you can tell after watching them for a handful of workouts that they're far more capable than they're giving themselves credit for. And they actually have the ability to push it a little bit, and everything that you see every day leads you to believe that they would sustain it just fine, but they never experiment, they never try, and maybe it's because they have that fear of, I don't want to crash and burn in the 3rd round. So here's all I'll say for that. And this has, since we're talking on the internet, and sometimes on the internet common sense goes out the window, and somebody has to be told, like, hey, if this isn't safe for you to do, you shouldn't do it. Sometimes you have to say that as a general coverall on the internet. So there's my general coverall. If this is illogical for where you are in your role, in your path of fitness, don't do it. Or if a certain movement or loading or rep range or whatever is beyond your capacity, then don't do it. Don't experiment in that kind of a workout. But there are plenty of workouts that are well within people's capacity. The loading isn't too crazy. The reps aren't too crazy. It's not like you're taking an experiment and really trying to push the pace in a workout that has 355-pound deadlifts. That might not be a great time to, really see what you got in the tank and push yourself for the first time ever. But let's say something like Cindy, 5, 10, 15, pull-ups, push-ups, air squats, 20-minute AMRAP. You've probably done it a bunch. Probably know roughly what your Cindy pace is. Well, what's the harm in, if you've done Cindy a bunch and you really kind of know what your pace is, maybe you push the pace a little bit and see what happens. One of two things is going to happen. Number one, you're going to realize that that new pace for Cindy, although probably quite unpleasant in the moment, was sustainable. And how cool would that be? You would actually learn at the end of that you were capable of more than you thought you were. That's fantastic. Life is good. Here's the flip side to that. You go out a little bit hot, somewhere in the minute 7 to 10 range. You realize that that was a terrible idea. You're very, very winded, and you're just not recovered. And you've actually slowed down your pace, and the 20 minutes comes to an end, and you do worse by 2 or 3 rounds. It's a personal worst. Oh well, who cares? You learned something that day, and what you learned that day was either A, I'm more capable than I thought I was, great, you pushed intelligently, or, you know what, I've got a really good sense of my body, my capacity, and my pacing, and I learned that I should trust myself. And I don't know, let's say that your previous score was 20 on Cindy, and due to poor pacing, you went out too fast, you scored a 17 that day. Who cares? You did 17 rounds of Cindy. You didn't sit on the couch. You did wonderful things for your fitness that day, and you learned something. So again, success. Another great workout, for example, maybe to push the pace and just learn something about yourself, could be Helen. We've got 400-meter runs. We've got kettlebell swings at 53 pounds for the men, 35 pounds for the women, and just kipping chin over bar pull-ups. It's 21 on the swings, it's 12 on the pull-ups. The loading is very, very reasonable. The rep ranges are very, very reasonable, and so are the runs, the 400s. Helen would be a great place to do a bit of experimenting, push the pace, and see, can you hold on or do you crash and burn? Because there's a fair amount of folks out there that have their Helen time, and their Helen time is unbroken. They get all the swings unbroken, they hop on the pull-up bar, they get all the pull-ups unbroken, and they don't dilly-dally a lot. They run right to the kettlebell, bang, knock out the swings, put the bell down, maybe a quick shake of the hands, they're up on the bar, 12 pull-ups are done, they're out in the next run. So the only place for those people, we've chatted about this before, to make up time on Helen is going to be pushing the pace in that run. But previously, they probably have not pushed the pace in the run because they feel if they do, they're going to come up to that kettlebell too winded, and instead of being able to do the swings, they're going to stand there with their hands on their waist, huffing and puffing, until they recover enough and feel capable enough to grab the kettlebell and then knock them out. But who knows? Roll the dice. Give it a try. Helen's another great one to do it. And again, same thing. You're either going to find out that you're good to go, and hey, I just shaved X amount of seconds off my Helen time, and don't get me wrong, it stung. But I realized that I can run faster than I thought I could in some significant discomfort. That's a great thing to know about yourself. Or you will learn that that wasn't a smart call in any way, shape, or form. So there's benefit to both. And again, the original question, any tips for maintaining a solid pace in workouts in relation to each individual's fitness level? I would say initially, with new athletes, if you're new to this, it's great to go conservative at first and see if that conservative approach when round 2, 3, or 4 rolls around is still conservative, or is it actually right where you should be. But then once you get comfortable there, after several months, several years, and you've got a pretty good sense of what you can do, then if you choose the workout properly, with very safe, reasonable movements, loading, etc., there's certainly room to experiment, and I think there's great value there, and most people would benefit from it. That is it. My wish for you is to have an absolutely tremendous day, and then that's that. Oh, Pete, what do you got here? Pete, I start slow, then reduce the pace as the workout progresses. Absolutely. I remember, one of the things we used to say all the time, we used to do a lot of runs in the military. A lot of running. And one of the things we'd say is we'd start out slow and then peter off. And every now and then, that's how it goes. All right, everybody. Have a great day. And we will talk again later.